Hello class, welcome to a room 222 Photoshop tutorial. Today's project is creating an Easter egg. So this one is not a difficult project, but it's just something that is holiday or seasonal and something that I think would be fun to do in class. So my example that I'm going to show you is this. So we created an Easter egg. Well, I found a picture of an egg and then we colored it for an Easter egg, and I added a little bit of text and made a nice little background color with this. So this is what you're going to be doing next. You do not have to use the same coloring, the same designs, or anything like that, but you do have to use a variety of colors. You do have to create designs, and you do have to add text. So let's start. We're going to go to File, New, File Open, and then we're going to click on Stock Photos. And I have the egg under Objects. It probably should be under Food, but that's okay. White chicken egg square. So here's our egg. As you can see, the background is very white in contrast with the egg, so that the egg is hard to see. That personally bothers me. So what I'm going to do is double click on this, say OK, and I'm going to color in the background a different color. You can choose to do this if you want, or you don't have to. Please do what you think will look best. Please do not do what you think is easiest, because that's not what we want. We want it to look nice. So I'm going to use the quick selection tool, and I'm just going to work my way around the egg. I'm going to do this in parts, because if I would go the whole way around, it highlights the entire box, which is not what I want. So what I'm going to do is just do little parts of this at a time. My original color was a bright light blue, but today I think I'm going to do, or this time I think I'm going to do a nice light gray. And then I'm just going to go to my paint bucket tool and color in these parts. Control D deselects the selection. As you can see, some parts of this still have the white showing. So what I'm going to do is then go to my brush tool and just go back over this and clean it up a little bit. You can also clean up the edging. Once our background is completed, I'm going to duplicate the copy of this, and then I'm going to make invisible my background layer, original background layer. So then next we're going to, now on this duplicated layer, we're going to hide or select the egg. So then that way we don't have to worry about, when we make our designs and things, it going onto another space. So we're going to click on the mask, and now we just have our egg here. We're going to click on the hue and saturation layer or adjustment, and we're going to right click and clip it to this layer mask egg. Next you're going to select colorize, and it's going to create this tint on your egg. And if you click and slide the hue slider, you can make this egg any color you might want. I'm going to go with yellow. And then if you adjust the saturation, you can make it brighter. And then with your lightness, the higher you go, the less it covers. The lower you go, the more it covers. And you can always then adjust, keep adjusting from there. You may pick whatever color that you want. You can also then change the blend mode or the blending options for the hue and saturation. So if you click over here, then you use your arrow keys, you can go down through them and see how it affects your egg. But I'm going to go with the darker color, And then you can always come back over here to the properties and you can adjust this further if you want to. So next we're going to add our design. To do this, we're going to select the mask layer of the egg. And we're going to use the quick selection tool and highlight it once again. And then we're going to select new layer. And this creates a new layer with the selected egg. We're going to put it above the hue and saturation so that hue and saturation doesn't affect it. And then we're going to also right click on layer 1 and release the clipping mask. So now if we would go to our brush tool and we click on this, it only flows within the selected area. So now you have the artistic freedom to use a variety of colors and a variety of brushes to make a design for your egg. So this is not the prettiest looking egg that you've ever seen. My other one was probably definitely better. But that is okay. I like the leaves, so we'll leave it at that. So when you're finished, you're then going to click on the layer mask again. You're going to go to the properties. And we're going to bring back the background. And Control D, deselect that. So now next we're going to zoom in a little bit. And we're going to look at the edging of our egg. So we're going to click on the mask layer of the egg. And we're going to select the properties button. And we're going to go to mask edge. And so now if you adjust any of these things, you can see a very finite change in your egg. And by doing these things, you can either make it have a harder edge or a softer edge. And that is up to you. When you have decided what you want to do for your edging of your egg, you're going to click OK, and we're going to Control 0 and zoom out. Scale it to frame size. After that, we're going to add text to our image. So I'm going to keep up with the Easter theme, even though it looks more like an autumn egg, but that's okay. And I'm going to make a new layer and add my text to it. And what I would suggest, whatever it is that you do, I would put one word on each layer so that way you can freely move them around. So I'm going to start with happy. And I have it on HoneyScript. You could do whatever you want. I just like the HoneyScript font. And I'm going to Control T and make it bigger. Crooked. And then I'm going to add a little edging to this. So I'm going to double click over here. I'm going to add a stroke. I'm going to make it match the coloring of my egg a little bit more. And then I'm also going to bevel it and emboss it just a tad. And when I like my font, I'll click OK. And then what I would suggest that you do is then just make a copy of this, Control J, and then do Control T, move it out of the way, and then double click on it, or just click on it, and then that way it keeps everything the same, and you don't have to guess a second time when you create your new font, or create your new second word. And to match my words a little bit better, since they have a little bit of a textured look to them, I'm going to apply it to my egg as well. So I'm going to double click over here. And I'm going to apply a stroke to this. And if you look at the positioning, like that changes all sorts of stuff. You can do to it whatever you want. And you can always change the blend mode, the opacity of it, just to give it a little bit more bounce. And then continuing with the beveled as well. And if you want to get really crazy, you could try drop shadow. And now we have our wonderful little Easter egg. If you have any questions, you are more than welcome to raise your hand. If your egg, for whatever reason, doesn't quite look the way that you want it to, you can always go back through and erase parts of it to make it look a little bit more round or anything like that. But otherwise, this is it. So you're going to go to File, Save As. And we're going to find our Finished Projects folder. Easter egg. And you're only making one of these. And you're going to save it as your name, as a JPEG. Alright, off you go.